You're ready for co-creating at its best? Yes. Taking thought beyond that which it has been before? Yes. Discovering new vibrational set points? Yes. We believe you. You're needing a warm-up? Not at all. You know that you are the creator of your own reality? Yes. Then it's time to go to the beach. So you have some things on your mind. What do you want to talk about today? You've been talking with one another. Let's begin here. Yes.
So we talked about creating your own reality. And you mean everything?
That's the best thing about a universal law. When you accept the completeness of it, then you know how to dovetail with it. As long as you give yourself leeway of exceptions, then it becomes random and uncontrollable.
Then I have a question for you. On Monday I was really flying high. And I was going up to bed. And I was meeting new friends, old friends, saying goodbye, saying hello. It was a wonderful day. Then in the middle of the night, 4:30, I woke up because one of the lights was on. Just by itself. And I thought, this is interesting because I heard of those things, but I never experienced it to me. So I just put it off and said, well, it's nice. 10 minutes later, the same light went on again. Oh, what's happening here? And it happened a couple of times. And at the end, I just dismantled the light. And then I said to the universe, okay, what's up now? And at the same second, my iPhone lights up with a text message. It was from my girlfriend from Europe. It was only 2 words. Good morning, gorgeous. So, how does it work?
Well, when you understand that everything is vibrational, and everything that is electrical certainly is that, then it's easier to understand how there can be some thought form intervention. Esther loves it. Her house is a veritable ghost factory these days. Lights turning on and off, blinking all over the place. Bringing friends in for the first time in a while and a light blinking to say hello to them. Just have to accept that you have always been haunted. And that the more accepting you are of the naturalness of the interaction between what you've been calling physical and non-physical, there really has been no noteworthy distinction between what is physical and non-physical. But in your perspective, often you disallow that open door. And the more you accept that we are really all in this together, all in this together, not you separate from us and not us separate from you, but all in this together. And so to the degree of your desire and to the degree of your allowing, there are all kinds of things that you can realize. Sometimes people will try to get to the bottom of something like that, and they will discover a path of least resistance, a way that helps them to explain it in a more comfortable way. But we think you would serve yourselves extremely well if you would stop looking for normal ways of explaining those kinds of things. And if you would reach for what you're now coming to know about the complete blending, you see.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed.
Hi. My question's about alcohol. So...
How odd.
So of course I've been drinking a little bit more than I normally would here because it's free-flowing and it's wonderful. But at home, I've kind of gotten into this little habit of having a couple of glasses of wine at night. And it's becoming more of a daily thing. And I'm just wondering, I don't drink to get drunk, I just drink because I enjoy a nice glass of wine. But I'm really curious to know whether that is affecting my focus. Like, does alcohol cause you to be a less deliberate focuser?
It always affects your focus. But you don't need to be in a focusing mode all the time. In other words, it can be an enhancement of the step 3 part of the process. When you kick back a little bit, you can be more allowing. The thing is, if you're really drinking so that you're really out of focus, even though you've kicked back a little bit and your resistance is lower, you're not in a place of consciously receiving the benefit of the alignment as well. So it takes some balance in all of that. Just play with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's address this subject from the new vantage point that we've discovered about momentum. And think about what momentum might be going on that might cause you to want to take a drink. Now, if you're exhausted or if you're annoyed or if you really want something to take the edge off, you have to understand which vibrational disc you have chosen prior to that inspired action. This is really interesting, isn't it? In other words, is this inspired action for this drink or whatever the substance is it inspired from a disc of overwhelmment or from a vibrational grid disc or is it from a high-flying just looking to feel good? The vibrational momentum that you've got going on before that inspiration came, because the act in and of itself is not really what the subject is. It's the vibrational stance from which, in other words, what momentum is being perpetuated here. And often it's just the momentum of more fun. It's the momentum of just feeling lighter. But sometimes it's the momentum of trying to forget your troubles, or sometimes it's the momentum of wanting to fit in with others. You have to decide what momentum.
I think I just enjoy it. So therefore, am I coming from a good place?
Certainly, if that's what it is about. And you can tell. Sometimes, and this is the interesting thing about this, is it's going to bring this into a whole new understanding. So let's say that you are in a very good place. You've been feeling really good. And the universe has gathered cooperative components who are also having a very good time. And the party is flowing, and the alcohol is flowing, and you are feeling good. And so are the others who are with you. And so you have a memory of that relationship under those conditions with that substance equaled a good time. So you sort of make a decision that that is something that you're going to do, rather than that is something that you're going to be called to, or that is something that you're going to be inspired to. We're just encouraging that once you get a handle on this momentum, that you let the momentum carry you. So then what happens? Then the momentum can take on a whole other level. So let's say that you've introduced on a pretty regular basis quite a bit of alcohol to your system. Well, your body will compensate for anything that you are ingesting, because the cells of your body just do that. But in their acknowledgement of it, in their compensation for it, the cells of your body can begin a momentum about that. And that's what those physical cravings are. It's cellular momentum that you can overcome with your deliberate choosing of the disc. But let's face it, a lot of people are not deliberately choosing their stance in this vibrational disc emotional scale. They're just sort of going with the flow. And so if momentum gets going and you haven't been paying attention to the way you feel, or you weren't deliberately in a good place as that momentum got going, then it's possible that some destructive momentum could begin to happen to you. So from what you just heard here, is drinking something either good or bad? It's like everything else. It's the vibrational stance from which you do it. So the question that we would ask every time is, what momentum is at the basis of this? And if it's the momentum of just wanting to feel great, then we would follow that momentum.
Okay.
If it's the momentum of wanting to forget who I am,
Right, no.
not such good momentum. I'm shy otherwise, or I'm introverted otherwise, or I don't have a good time otherwise, or I don't fit in otherwise. That's not a momentum that you want to perpetuate, you see. And so we hear you sometimes talk about there are happy drunks and there are mean drunks. And we say it's all about what their vibration was before they were inspired to the action, which is really irrelevant to the vibrational stance. So let's take it a little further. Does that mean that there are actions that always belong here, or actions that always belong here, or actions that always belong here? All kinds of actions from all kinds of different vibrational places. And that's why people become so confused, because they become monitors and measurers and comparers of behavior rather than being aware of the vibrational root of things. Really helpful.
Yeah. What about so I don't feel like it affects my meditation.
So you could say, we're interrupting you. You don't need to apologize to me. So you could say, I'm in a really bad mood, so I've decided to be a really mean drunk. Or your friends might say, well, we don't find you mean when you're drinking, because that whatever it was you were focused upon that had you out of whack with your alignment is diffused now. And in the absence of that resistant thought, you are nicer.
Right.
But still, you're out of control if you're not doing it deliberately.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just really quickly, with meditation the next morning, it wouldn't be affecting, I don't feel like it affects my meditation in a bad way at all, but I guess the question comes up in my mind of like, if I didn't drink at all and I meditated the next day, would that be better? Or is it, like you said, it's just all about the momentum and vibration?
You're not ever going to get us to follow along a train of thought which leads to the ending statement that behavior is right or wrong.
Right.
Because the vibrational stance that begins it has to be discussed first, you see. But what we would say to you is play with it and see what feels the best to you.
Okay.
That's the way you begin developing patterns that work best for you. Esther was talking about a day trip that she took with friends the other day, and it was a long day. And at some points it was hot and tiring, and she found herself wondering if it would ever end.
Right.
But once it all unfolded, there was so much extraordinary fun that came out of it. And so she's asking the question of herself, could it have been all only fun? Could I tune myself to a place where the universe only delivers to me only fun? And the answer to that is yes. It's just more cognizance of where you are vibrationally and more deliberately tuning of your disc every step along the way. And the more you do it, the more the universe yields to you, so that it's not sporadic, it's steady, you see. So then the question is, well, in my steady alignment, is this drinking behavior going to be an often experience? And we say, maybe, maybe not. You're going to figure it out as you go.